gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. I upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Time. I am an independent author, an avid reader, and a cat mom of 4. This is one of them. This is Loki. And today I want to talk about an arc that I was given. I did not request this arc, it was sent to me because I had previously reviewed another book by this author. All opinions are my own. Who else's would they be? So let's get into You Won't Forget Me. You Won't Forget Me is a novel by Mazey Eddings. She also wrote Actually and Tilly in Technicolor. She is one of my favorite authors, and this book comes out today, June 9th, is 336 pages in paperback, put out by St. Martin's Press. As I stated before, this is I received an advance reader copy in exchange for my honest feedback. All opinions are my own. So let's get into it with the book blurb. Cubby Clark's life is falling apart. All she's ever cared about is making music, but on the brink of hitting it big, Cubby's on-again, off-again boyfriend and lead of her band, Connor, abandons the group. What's worse, his solo career rockets overnight to overnight stardom, based on a hit single about how bad she was in bed. With a fractured band, a toxic ex airing her dirty laundry in every interview, and a horrible case of writer's block, the only thing she can take comfort in is her best friends and fellow bandmates, Darcy and Harry. But when an inadvertently romantic picture of Cubby and Harry goes viral the same night Cubby and Darcy hook up, something obviously very normal for these two totally heterosexual gal pals, Cubby and her band find themselves in the spotlight as tabloids eat up their rumored love triangle between Cubby, Harry, and Connor. Thrust by their label into a whirlwind tour, all Cubby wants is turn to Darcy for support. But ever since the passionate hookup, they never talk about it. There's nothing but tension and distance between the usually inseparable pair. Under the pressure of newfound fame, an extremely dirty tour bus, and long-buried feelings, Cubby and Darcy have a single summer to unravel the truth of what they mean to one another, face losing the other forever. So this is, quite clearly, a sapphic novel. It is Pride Month, so I'm trying to do Pride books this month. The dedication was the first thing that hooked me into this book. I always read the dedications because sometimes they're brilliant, sometimes they're touching. It's always worth not skipping the dedication, especially in this case. To Stevie Nicks for singing Silver Springs live at Lindsey Buckingham like that in 1997. I'll never get over it, and I hope he doesn't either. If you've seen this performance, you know what she's talking about, because there's a point in the song where it's Stevie Nicks' song. It's not a Fleetwood Mac song. And she is singing it at Lindsey Buckingham. Like, the whole Rumours album is a whole thing. And there's a moment where she's singing at him, and he kind of flinches and recoils because of the amount of emotion that she's putting into her voice and into her words. And it's really something. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go look it up and watch it, because it is brilliant. Obviously, this book has some Fleetwood Mac vibes. It's sapphic, it's got Always Been You vibes, it's friends to lovers, fake dating. It basically checks all the tropey boxes for me. And inner pitched in the book are the song lyrics from Connor's songs, from the songs Cubby's writing, and I think that really deepens things because that's how she processes what's going on, is through music. They're listening to music like Connor's music, which the poetry, you can, in the book, Connor also steals the band's songs, the ones that Cubby wrote, but they hadn't released yet. So he steals her songs, claiming he wrote them, even though he didn't. And they can't claim that without more trouble and more animosity from his fans coming at them. It's this whole thing, and you can tell which songs he wrote and which songs she wrote, because hers are better. Like, they're more layered contextually with double meanings, and they're just better. And her songs that she writes are really good. She has every reason to be upset that he stole her work, not just because he stole his work and passed it off as his own, which is plagiarism, but because she deserves the recognition for writing the songs. And she, at the beginning of the book, we start out with them in high school, and she and Cubby and Darcy are sitting in Cubby's room. They're talking about how Cubby's got a date that night, and she's really excited, and she's like, I think Connor's gonna kiss me tonight. We're finally gonna go out. I've had a crush on him forever. And Darcy's like, well, do you even know how to kiss? We should practice. And all sorts of emotions and things going on. They're in high school. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand. They know that they're best friends. They know that they like each other, but they don't fully understand that they're maybe not fully straight. And Cubby's mom comes in. The two break apart like they've been shot. And she goes on her date with Connor, and the kiss that he gives her is nothing like the kiss she got from Darcy. Like, it's really speaks to the storytelling, because the kiss with Darcy is written in more feelings and emotional language, whereas the kiss with Connor is very clinical and very jarring, like, because she talks about how their teeth hit each other when he goes to kiss her, and he's just, it's not a good kiss. And she and Darcy never talk about the kiss, like, ever. And so that's the prologue. And then we have where the book actually picks up is Connor has just released a new song, and it's talking about how awful she is in bed and all this, that, and the other. And he does nothing to say this isn't what's going on, this isn't what's happening. He's just an asshole. And he actively tries to create tension. Later in the book, he actually actively tries to create tension between her and her band, and Cubby ends up, like, I don't want to get into spoilers, but it's a really good book. It's emotional, and it's interesting, and it's got this road trip adventure element to it that I really like. I like the adventure. It reminds me of Tilly and Technicolor, and there's a reason for that, because Tilly is actually the twin sister of our male lead in Tilly and Technicolor. So she and he are twins, and so we get a Tilly and Technicolor pop in, and they're like, hello, and it's great. It's absolutely wonderful. You don't have to have read Tilly and Technicolor first, although you get an insight into the relationship in the second book because it takes place in the future. It helps to read them in publication order, but you don't have to. Just be aware that there are some slight spoilers for Tilly and Technicolor. If you read You Won't Forget Me first. But they're both really, really good books. This one, Tilly and Technicolor, is neurodivergent representation. This one is definitely anxiety representation. That Cubby has severe anxiety. She overthinks things. She spirals. She lets her fears and anxieties get the best of her at times. There were times in the book where I wanted to throttle the other characters because she's clearly going through stuff, and she's not being allowed to process it. She's not being allowed to think about it cohesively. She just gets pulled along by her record company, which is a very, very small label, because she's like, hey, the picture, the catalyst for this for the story is the picture of her and Harry, and it ignites so much drama online that everyone's like, oh, what's going on here? She was with Connor very publicly, and now she's with Harry. And is she pulling one over on Connor? And like, Connor's stans are acting this way, and it's leading to more streams of their music, which has got venues interested in their music and booking them, so they come stateside. Like they're I think it's Sweden. I think they're in Stockholm. So they travel from there, where the record label is, to the States to do all of these tours in this absolutely roadie tour bus, and it's a great ride. It's a really good book. This one is clearly 5 of 5 stars. I'd say for spice, it does have some spice, and I've been told that 1 chili pepper spice is no spice, which I think is wrong because none is none. It would be no chili peppers. So assuming that no spice is no chili peppers on a 1 to 5 scale, like that's 0 because it's not applicable, I would say this is 2, but other people's scales where if you choose 0 spice as 1, this would be about a 3. Like there is some spice, but it's not overwhelming, it's not overpowering. It matters to the plot because it's written in such a way that it talks about the emotional depth. It's not just the mechanical machinations of the act. Like it's not that. It's the emotional depth and wanting to take care of each other and like all this, that, and the other. That it does matter. I understand a lot of people skip through spice scenes. In this book, I would recommend not, just because the author put them there for a reason, but also because it does impact the story. Should you read this, You Won't Forget Me, I say absolutely yes. I love this author. I love her books so far, and this one is another hit it out of the park for me. Are there any books releasing this month or that you've read recently that you're really excited for? I'd love to hear about them down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!